So the Grim Reaper has been trending because everybody spotted him at the coronation, and very interesting. I looked into immediately about Druids. Do Druids wear black robes? Because obviously, if you know my channel, there's the videos about the Druids and how the Church of England and the Roman Catholic Church, they all revolve around Baal worship, which is the same as Druidry. We'll get into that a bit later. But I found some information immediately on this site, which is very good. It's on historic-uk.com, and getting straight to the point, it says, within the Druid class, it is believed that there were subsections, all with colour-coded robes. The eldest Druid, or one deemed to be the most wise, was the Archdruid, and would wear gold robes. Now, when I read that, I immediately thought of King Charles wearing his gold robes. Is he the Archdruid? We know that his mother was a Druid, and we know that Prince Charles is heavily indoctrinated into all things eco, talking to plants, wanting to bring about no so-called carbon emissions with the whole climate change propaganda, etc. So moving on, it says the ordinary Druids would wear white and act as priests. The sacrificers would fight and wear red. So we know that they did human sacrifice, and still do behind the scenes. The blue bards were artistic, and the new recruits to Druidism completed lesser tasks and were held in lesser esteem, wearing brown or black. So for me, that kind of fits. New recruits completed lesser tasks and wore brown or black. So the official story, I can't remember the name they're called, this particular Grim Reaper character, began with a V, but they said he's just somebody who helps out. So that fits in with somebody who's a new recruit to Druidism. Also, he's carrying a scythe. Now, the Druids were commonly depicted with a sickle. At Yule, they would cut down mistletoe with the sickle. And this religion is very much revolving around the seasons. If I read again from this web page, it says one of the earliest accounts of Druids was written by Julius Caesar in 59 to 51 BC. He wrote it in Gaul, which is modern day France, where prestigious men were divided into Druids or nobles. It was from the Roman writers that historians have gained most of their knowledge of the Druids. So if you want to know more about this, and you want to know Julius Caesar's account on the Druids that he wrote, that I've already read this on a previous video on the channel, which mentions about them killing people. He said that the Druids were brutal. They would burn them alive in giant wicker men, and that their philosophy of this was to sort of appease the false gods. Take a life to save a life, they always mention, and things like this. They're very very evil. If you look into, there was a website as well about, they found a German Stonehenge with loads of dead bodies buried all over the place. And really, unfortunately, this is all going on, and it's mentioned in the Bible, in the Old Testament, how they killed their children and they passed through the fire. So as we go on, it says Druidic human sacrifice was recorded, and it always says, but there's no definitive evidence to support this, but there actually is. If you look into it, you can find evidence of the dead bodies all over the place. Underneath the Catholic churches is full of bones and dead bodies, and says Druidism was well structured and ordered, from the hierarchy of the Druid class to the pattern of life that followed nature's cycles. They observed the lunar, solar, and seasonal cycles and worshipped according to these 8 main holy days. Well, this is the pagan wheel, which I've already broke down in lots of videos. They'd celebrate New Year on Samhain, the day that is referred to as Halloween. That is the pagan New Year, and they all these dates from like the 1st of November to the 11th, which we have. There's like a bonfire night, etc. And the royal family observe this very strictly. This is the pagan New Year. This is like definitive mystery religion, where they don't tell the public what they're doing, but they're involved. They involve them in it. You've got Yule, the winter solstice. You've got Imbolc, which is 2nd of February, celebrating motherhood. Ostara, which is Easter, spring equinox, etc. So this is the pagan wheel, and this is the curse that is running through these churches, because the nations rejected the truth of the gospel, and so they were sent the influence of delusion to believe the falsehood, which this current time is pertaining to falsehood. And by rejecting the truth, people are assimilated into the things that are false.